Fight time, baby. You ready, George?
We're ready. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the official press conference for a World Boxing Super Series semi-final that has all the makings of being a true classic. Welcome to all those in London here with us, and to all those joining us live on the ITV Box Office YouTube channel and Facebook page. We have on the top table then Shane McGuigan, trainer to George Groves. George Groves, KALLE SAUERLAND, Roberto Dalmiglio, Chris EUBANK Jr., Chris EUBANK Sr., and Ronnie Davies. So, on Saturday, February the 17th at the Manchester Arena, George Groves faces Chris EUBANK Jr. live on ITV Box Office pay-per-view. At stake, a place in the final of the World Boxing Super Series and the right to fight for the Muhammad Ali Trophy. Also on the line, the WBA Super World title, which George Groves defended for the first time last month, so impressively, stopping the previously unbeaten Jamie Cox in 4 rounds at Wembley. A week earlier, Chris EUBANK Jr. excelled in his World Boxing Super Series quarter-final as he knocked out Avni Yildirim in Stuttgart in only 3 rounds. It's a fight that's been eagerly anticipated since the draw in May. It's the sort of fight that this competition's format has made possible. And the Chief Boxing Officer of the World Boxing Super Series is KALLE SAUERLAND.
Good afternoon. Amazing, thank you for a wonderful turnout. This is a special fight. It's a fight that when we saw the original 8 in the lineup was already a mouth-watering dream in the distance. On February the 17th in a sold-out Manchester Arena, the Battle of Britain will commence. And Groves versus EUBANK is a fight, I think, that surpasses the boundaries of the standard boxing fight, boxing super fight. We hear that these terms the whole time. This really is a mega fight. It's a fight which I think will have an enthralling build-up to unbelievable athletes, to unbelievable characters, great characters for the sport, and a storyline which has been written by the tournament. It came alive in Stuttgart in the let's say the hot atmosphere of a hot fight week. A sublime performance by Chris EUBANK Jr. And a week later at Wembley in a British derby for the world title of the WBA Super Championship, George Groves took care of a very talented challenger in Jamie Cox. It set up what we all now know, this sold out this morning in a matter of minutes, a fight that I'm looking forward to as a promoter, a fan, but I think the whole country will look forward to, and I think it is the super middleweight fight to make at this moment, inside the tournament or outside the tournament. But what the tournament does do, it's set out to deliver these fights on a regular basis, and it's great to see that happening. Joins me on my left by the CEO of KAMOSA, the organisers of the World Boxing Super Series, and Roberto, maybe you can say a little bit about how the brand has proceeded and what this means for the World Boxing Super Series to be on such a pedestal, such a showcase with such a huge event to kick off the boxing year in the UK in 2018.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Well, this is a little bit the answer to you, KALLE. I mean, it is true that already in the semi-final the brand achieved a lot. The fans are following us in a tremendous way. But honestly, today we are here presenting, and we're only talking about semi-final level. I mean, it is undisputable. This is going to be one of the best sporting events in UK for the 2018. Tremendous achievement. We are here again to say one thing. We wanted to have this fight, and I repeat, we're only talking about the semi-final in the biggest arena possible. The news KALLE just gave you, it is a sold out already in Manchester, something that probably lasted for something like 1 hour, not even 38 minutes, I was told, but our ticket division, they're all very, very, very excited. What we are talking about here is something that has to be delivered to the fans in the biggest possible way. I would like to thank everybody of you to be here today, national and international media, undisputably, this is one of the best events that we could have presented within the tournament. Thank you.
Kalle and Roberto, thank you very much. So a word with a few of those here on the top table. First of all, George. If you can
That's all me, yeah.
Yes, first of all you. Where do you place this in terms of the recent challenges, and you've had some big ones, that you've faced in your career?
Thanks everyone for coming, great turnout. Yeah, I mean the hype behind this fight will be huge, you know. I hope that the build-up justifies the attention it's got so far, and I hope the fight in the end does the same as well, because on paper this has probably been billed as a 50-50, maybe even EUBANK Junior being a favourite, but I don't really understand that. I think the form, you know, the history, the experience, the ability all lie in my favour. I'm looking forward to a big night, but it's the semi-finals of a tournament that I plan to win, so it's just another step, another fight along the way. We're already training for it. We've got the date. We're looking forward to it, and we're in a fantastic place, so we can't wait.
You said that Chris EUBANK Jr. is going to have to make a lot of changes to the way he fights to compete with you.
Yeah, well, a lot of changes in general. I mean, Junior wraps his own hands, I believe, stuff like that. You know, he maybe puts on the facade that he can do it all himself. He is a sort of a one-man band, but it is very difficult doing stuff on your own. We'll see if he stays like that, or if he starts to conform and change and adapt and you know, make changes, which I'm sure he will, and certainly will have to do. If he doesn't, it makes it even easier for me, but he will, which is, you know, just a credit to me, I suppose. You know, that obviously this is his first real fight, big fight, definitely a super middleweight. He's going to fall short in a lot of categories, a lot of things, and it just makes me excited to have this fight.
Chris, that's a fair point, isn't it? This is your first really big fight?
I've had many big fights. This is probably the biggest fight in terms of profile, in terms of you know, this tournament, the hype. But at the end of the day, I rise to the occasion as always. The bigger the fight, the better I perform. And you know, George seems to be focused or hung up on what I'm going to do, and you know, how I'm going to change and conform and all these things. You know, he really needs to worry about himself, because you know, thinking about what I'm going to do isn't going to get him anywhere. You know, I'm going to do exactly what I've been doing my entire career, which is you know, following my intuition, finding a way to overcome any and all obstacles. I read a statement the other day. George said that if he fights the same, or if he boxes the same as he boxes against Jamie Cox in his last fight, then you know, he'll have no problem beating him. You know, that statement started with an if. That means that there is, you know, a possibility of him not being able to do that. You know, there are no ifs and buts where I'm concerned. It doesn't matter if my game plan goes completely out the window. I will find a way to stop George Groves. You know, there's just no chance in hell that he's going to take this away from me. I'm a man of my word, and George, you will not see the 12th round.
You've also said, Chris, I think that there's one fighter on an upward curve, presumably yourself, and another maybe on a downward curve. What do you mean by that?
George isn't on a downward curve. He's won his last couple fights. He's a world champion. But this is my time. You know, I'm a different animal to what I was, you know, 2 years ago, a year ago. George is the same guy, and I know what I've done. I know what's happened in the past in terms of sparring with George and training together. I felt what he has as a fighter, as a man. I know what he's capable of. I know what he isn't capable of. I know his weaknesses. I know his strengths. And nothing he has can outweigh the fire and the heat that is going to be brought down upon him.
George? The fire and the heat that is going to be brought down upon you.
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I like Junior's attitude. I used to like him when he was my sparring partner. As the pain come in, we used to do rounds, and he wouldn't talk to anyone, which was, I like that about him. He used to come in, put his Vaseline on in the corner, warm up, and give you good work. Exactly what I needed at the time. He's terrific for a soundbite. He gives you those short piece statements. Those things work for him. It's made him, insta famous. But we'll. This is different. Like I used to hear people talk about levels, and it used to frustrate me a little bit at the start. When you start your career, and you talking about levels. My mate James Gallagher used it a lot, and I never really understood it. But sort of, I have come full circle, and I do understand that. Sometimes it doesn't matter how well you prepare, or how many things go in your favour. That there's people you just can't beat, and I'm sorry to say for Junior that he's not good enough. He doesn't have the pedigree, he doesn't have the ability. He can get as fit as he wants. I mean, he stays in good shape all year round, but most legitimate athletes don't do that. You have to you peak, especially fighters, because we don't fight every week. We'll set a date and we prepare for it. And that is what I will do. And on the night, I believe I'm unstoppable. Certainly in the super middleweight division. Whether he's on an upward curve or not, he's on a steady marginal incline. I'm at the very top, and I'm still improving. I'm still going from strength to strength. I say this is another stop along the way in winning this tournament. We knew the EUBANK fight was coming. I read KALLE to put him seeded so that I would face him in the semis. I knew it'd be an exciting fight for the tournament, an exciting fight for me. It's what I want, what I've always intended. So we're in, as I say, we're in a fantastic place. I'm in terrific form. I've been in real fights, big fights, hard fights. I've got experience to rival any current fighter right now, and as I say, this is nothing more than a stepping stone. We're going to approach the fight properly. We know, again, like Chris says, I know what he does well, I know what he don't do so well, I know what I need to do to beat him. He's clever. I know him and the dad will research. They'll be well rehearsed. Picked up on an if. I might explain the if is that if I box the way I beat box, I might box a different way. I can box many different ways to beat you. And but getting rid of Cox inside, 4 or 5 rounds works well. Maybe that'll be more of the same this time round. So we have to wait and see. Again, soundbite that I've been using a long time is he won't hear the final bell. He won't go 12 rounds. So. We both stamped our flag in the ground and made that statement.
We talked about a fight for the ages. Chris EUBANK Senior, you were involved in many of those. George says that your son won't have the pedigree for a night that will be a fight for the ages.
That is hurtful. That is hurtful. Pedigree. Oh my goodness. I wasn't going to talk. Pedigree. I mean, look at the way he has come. Look at the way he's come up. Look at the ease in which he dispatched of Arthur Abraham. Look at the extraordinary way in which he dismantled the powerful Avenue Yildirim. Pedigree. This is pedigree. would like to say mother, but I'm not going to. This is pedigree, and I have nothing more to add. Thank you.
Shane, you've worked with George over the last couple of years and obviously been part of George's rebirth in many ways. He's talked about that. What sort of fight do you anticipate? What have you seen in Chris EUBANK Jr.? Having analysed him, I know you have done a bit of that already. So what sort of fight do you expect?
Well, it's going to be a hard fight for both parties. It's a throwback. You know, you look at the era that Senior was involved in. You had a lot of great rivalries in Britain, and I feel like that super middleweight division now is gone full circle, and now we've got that. And luckily we're in a tournament that we can just you're signed in and you face each other. So it's going to be a very hard fight. It's going to be one that we've already started preparing for. But I have full faith in George Groves to get the victory and look spectacular doing so. And I feel like, you know, he is, once you're in there with him, everyone jumps out and he's a lot faster than I thought he was. He's got much better timing than I was expecting, and he punches very, very hard. So it's the first time that Junior has stepped up to fight a guy who's got speed at super middleweight. Everyone else has been slow walking in on him, and I feel like George doesn't do that. He sets traps and he makes you pay for them. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, very hard fight, as I said, for both parties, but one that we're going to prepare diligently for.
Speed in terms of what? I don't know what speed we're talking about. I haven't seen any speed. He's not a combination puncher. He doesn't throw punches in bunches. George is, he's a counter puncher. Speed is what I do. I can hit a man, 6, 7, 8 times.
When they're standing still,
in
like
a
a
couple of
bag.
seconds.
Yeah?
George
Because
is-
that's what I say, you're Insta-famous, brother. You are fantastic.
Insta-famous
The
has nothing to
fantastic
do with my
short
fighting
clips on the bag, maybe on the pads, on the body bag. They look great.
I hit Anthony Gildren with about 8 punches within 2 seconds.
He stood still like a bag.
You're going to stand still too.
Okay, well, we'll see.
You're young, but you're an old man in the game. You're not the fighter you used to be. And
No, I'm down.
when the going gets tough,
You're going to sing now.
you plant your feet. And you swing. You don't move. So you will stand still. You will be there for me to tee off on you. And I'm going to catch you.
Ah, man, do you know what? I hope you do. I really hope you do, because to your credit, you punched from the ankles, from the get-go, and you talk about stamina and hand speed and all these things that, people use to your defense, but, boxers at the highest level have a knowing eye. We're not, we see what it is. We can see when there's something behind the punches. We can see when you're leaving openings behind the punches. We see when you need to go for a breather and you disguise it well. But, as I say, when you watch me, maybe I don't do myself justice. Maybe I don't look as quick as I actually am. Maybe my timing don't look as good as it actually is. And maybe my punch power is, underrated. But
that's the only thing you do have. That's the only thing that people give you credit for, is the fact that you can hit.
yeah, I wouldn't. That's way down on my list of my attributes.
Aside from that, you're pretty average. You don't have that much speed. Your defense is poor, and your stamina, in my opinion, is average at best. And those attributes, the fact that you're lacking in those parts of boxing means you can't compete with me. And that's why you just said earlier that I may be...
Do you know what? You're right. If we both got on the bag, you would absolutely annihilate me, because you would be able to hit that bag
Yes, I would.
much more than I possibly could.
Yes, I would.
But we're not fighting a bag.
No, we're not
Fighting
fighting a
those
bag.
hands
We're
still.
not fighting a
See
bag.
how fresh you are.
We're fighting real people, and real
You need to
people go
learn
to
how to
sleep.
set up your shot. You
Real
need to
people
learn how
go
to
to
get
sleep.
into range to let your shots go.
Real people go to sleep. And you have, and once that button's pushed on you, you do go to sleep.
I did. I went to sleep, my friend. In front of 80,000 people.
I've never been put to sleep, and I've been hit with big shots in fights and sparring. I get a little flash of white, If I get tagged and then I'm right back there, my legs don't wobble, I don't go to the floor. You crumble, and I'm gonna catch you. What Frosh did to you that took something out of you? I see it in your eyes.
Maybe it did
I
at
see
the
it in
time.
your performances.
Maybe it did at the time. But I've been on a fantastic rebuilding phase, my friend. Since I've been working with Shane McGuigan next to me,
Shane
you
can't
have
help
seen
you.
the improvers.
If
And I know
you're counting on
because
Shane to help you get through this, you're in deep trouble. 'Cause
I'm using Shane.
Shane's
Shane's
a
been
kid-
fantastic
Shane's
for
a
me.
kid
He's a
in
great
the
coach.
Shane-
It's
Shane
great
is-
to
Shane is a
finally
young
have a
kid
good
again.
coach in my corner, you know. A great coach gives me the right instructions at the right time, prepares me correctly for every fight. And I go into every fight with the utmost confidence in myself and in my team. You know, I've had fights where I haven't had confidence in my team, and they're the ones where I haven't really performed. But when I do have confidence in my team, and they are a fantastic team, you need a team, you know, let's get it straight, you know. When I left Adam Booth, who was a very good coach, I spent a long time trying to prove to people who shouldn't mean anything to me, that I could do it alone, you know. But the truth is, you do need to share the burden of preparing for a big fight. Because if the guy opposite you has a good team, then you're at a disadvantage, you know. I've got a fantastic team, a great coach who knows how to prepare me correctly, and since we've been working together, every fight we've improved. And we're improving in the gym, you know. I thought you were going to talk, but I'm glad you got on.
I have to at this point because in my career, the reason why I was like I was, Ronnie left me alone. Junior is left alone. I don't really train him. Ronnie doesn't really train him. He does it. It's actually inside him.
I believe that, you know.
Okay,
I think that's evident, yeah.
It's evident.
That's
Okay,
right.
okay.
I don't count on
I'm
the
not
team
doing
to
it,
give
right?
me,
That's one of the reasons why
give
you're
me the
fortunate.
arrogance and the confidence to go into a fight and put on the performances I do. You seem to rely on your team. Your team is not going to be there taking those punches, George.
I don't rely on my team to take the punches, but I rely on them to give me the right instructions and prepare me for the fight,
I don't
which
need,
they
I don't need
do.
instructions to beat you, George. I know what you want. It doesn't matter
Okay,
what my father
okay.
says. It doesn't matter
Great,
what
that's
Ronnie
great.
Davis says. You're not seeing the 12th round. Whatever instructions you get in that ring, they're not going to help you. They're not going to save you from what's coming.
Just a word with Senior. Senior, you've been obviously in huge fights, British, international fights that have captured the world's imagination, and obviously this is going to be one of those fights. For all the preparation that the guys have talked about, but what is the one sort of mental key that you need if you are going to succeed on a night like this, in a fight like this? What is going to be crucial that your son has, you think, that's going to make the difference mentally to him?
It is called an internal navigation system. Internal. That's called parenting. You haven't been trained by PE teachers. No disrespect. But that's what most trainers are. Okay? He has been guided. I haven't trained him. He can't be trained. He needs to be left alone. Okay, so what he has is an internal navigation system, and all I can do is try to harness when he is doing too much to his opponents. All I can do is try and harness him, which is what you, the public, the press, the media, the boxing fans, have seen in the past. I'm trying to actually harness, because this is, for me, by far the most dangerous fighter on the planet. Thank you. Thank you very much.
George, just on that, maybe Chris EUBANK SNR didn't quite answer my question, but you've been in obviously at the highest level in terms of world level fights. So what is key mentally for a fighter coming through this sort of challenge? Because you've referred to the fact that maybe Junior has not been at this level of fight yet.
Yeah, Junior hasn't. He hasn't. And for me, I can imagine this is, been his dream, because he's been craving the big fights, but without actually wanting to have a real fight, So he attaches his name to big fighters, and it always falls through, and he boxes at a much lower level. Obviously, being part of this tournament now, there was a lot of talk that he might pull out, but I don't think he is. He's here, he's excited, he's looking forward to it. This is a big fight. Everyone's excited, it's sold out already. So
it's a pivotal point in Junior's relationship with the dad, with his dad, because
Don't worry about my relationship with my dad. That's got nothing to do with
it's
the
a
fight.
pivotal,
Worry about what you're going to
I'm
do to
not
try
worried.
and survive the beating that's coming
it's a
your way.
pivotal point because I mean, as I say, so far the dad has alleviated a lot of pressure
You're worried
from
about
the
my dad.
son
My dad is
because
not
he's
me.
desperate for
My
the
dad is not
attention.
the guy that's going to be throwing them uppercuts, catching you on your chin, and watching you fall to the ground and crumble. You're going to
It's
get
a
groved.
pivotal point between
He's in for a
Junior
groves in.
and
That's what
his
happened
dad.
when Carl Froch knocked him out. People said that he got groves because his leg folded and he's on the floor. That's exactly what's going to happen in this fight. You're in for a
It's a
groves in.
pivotal point between the relationship between the father and son because so far
You're in so much
he's
trouble.
done him a massive favour inadvertently by being addicted to the attention, like addicted to the talking about himself. But now all of a sudden, people actually bought into it. They believe that Junior is the real deal. They think he's legit. And he's got to have to step up and prove it. Has he outgrown his father? That's what I want to know. Has he outgrown the dad?
So you don't think I'm
the dad-
legit?
Well, we don't know yet. Because you haven't boxed at the highest level.
Okay, so how about I release the sparring footage I have of me and you? Then
Release what you like, my friend. I've got sparring footage. Release what you want. I bet you can get together some fantastic 10-second Insta clips of the
I'll show the whole 8, 9, 10 rounds we used to do.
The whole lot, you know. Show the whole lot.
You know I'm legit, so don't sit here in this press conference trying to act like I'm some stepping
I
stone. I'm a
don't
mountain.
really like to talk about
I'm Mount
sparring
Everest,
too much.
and you ain't gonna climb me. Trust me.
What? Sorry.
You calling me a stepping stone? I'm not a stepping stone. I'm a mountain, and you are not going to climb me.
Language is dangerous. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
We will open it up to questions from the floor, please.
George, many of the people who fancy EUBANK Junior in this fight seem to be basing it on the logic that he's younger, fresher, and you alluded to the fact that you perhaps feel you're better than you've ever been at any point before, right now. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, of course, yeah. You know, I don't say things for the sake of saying them. I tell the truth. Better than ever. You know, I understand my body better than ever. I understand what I do well, what I don't do so well, and what I need to do to get myself in shape to fight. And as I say, you know, since working with Shane McGuigan, like the difference has been night and day. You know, it's a guy who understands me, who understands how to get the very best out of me, and he's someone who I can relax with because I can rely on him. You know, I have full confidence in him to get me to the place I need to be for every fight, and to give me the right instructions during the fight. You know, it's a massive advantage to have because you know, previous world title fights before Shane, I didn't have that, and at times it cost me. You know.
Listen to the language. I have full confidence in Shane McGuigan that he will get me where I need to be. Don't do that. That's embarrassing. Don't do that. That's embarrassing. You're a world champion, and you're giving a guy you've been with for a couple of fights the credit of preparing you to fight this.
To get me to where I want to be, obviously on fight night. But why would I not give him credit? Because that's what he does. Like I couldn't be in better condition on my own.
If you need Shane McGuigan to help you get into condition to fight me, you're in serious trouble.
And that's what I've been saying.
That's all I'm going to say.
I wouldn't talk about himself that badly.
Taking the flip side of that then, Chris, do you honestly believe it wouldn't make a difference who trained you? Mr. Bean, whoever?
No one's training him. He's training him.
He is completely self-trained and he just has a bit of support from his
It's not.
genetics.
It's not support. It's you know the parent and the trainer. You know, we're knocking him into positions. He's saying, no, I want to go this way. He's a stallion. So he's his own person. All we're doing is just keeping him on track because he wants to run wild. And again, if I don't harness him, you know, this young man in George Groves he's in danger. And again, you've heard it before, and you're hearing it again, and now you'll watch and see.
Thank you.
Chris EUBANK is a superstar. No one's asked me that yet, so please. He's a superstar, believe me, and you will find out. George, immense credit to you, showing great respect, but this is fight night. EUBANK, too young, too fresh, too high. He's phenomenal. I've seen him beat up heavyweights, cruiserweights. He spars it, he can do everything. And if people not mean his father, he don't need it, he's there. He knows what to do. He knows more than the trainers, he's brilliant. The kid, you can't show him nothing. He's got more moves than Pickford's the furniture people, right? The kid's exceptional. He's got power, stamina. He throws 25, 30 punches. He's not even breathing heavy. Watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
Again, this is no disrespect to Shane. Shane wasn't a professional. He doesn't know what it feels like to be in that heart. When George comes back to the corner in the first round, Shane doesn't know how that feels.
There's a number of all-time great trainers who were never professional boxers, true?
Oh, most certainly. Yeah, but I'm here now. Okay, and I exist. I'm here. I'm real. I'm talking. Okay, and I've got a view. Okay, and this view is real. How do I know? I took the beatings. I did the winnings. I lost with my head up high. I triumphed. Okay, there's been disaster in my career. All of these things have been used to shield this young man here. I'm going to say something controversial. He has been no slave in this boxing world. One of the only ones. So I'm grateful for what they put me through. Those promoters, I am grateful to you. He will now actually enjoy the benefits of my wonderful experiences. I have some great stories because of these experiences. Please. Gentlemen, or shall I carry on talking?
I could keep asking all the questions, but
Any more questions, please?
Yeah. Chris, you're supremely confident about this. We can see that from what you're talking about today.
But do you think this is the hardest fight you've had in your career to date, or do you think from the sparring footage that you have that this actually is easier for you than other fights that you've had in your career?
All fights are tough. I'm not going to sit here and say George Groves is going to be the toughest fight because I'm training to knock this guy out. They're all tough. They all take hard work, sacrifice, and dedication to prepare for, and to go into a ring and contest yourselves against another man. But I will say it is the biggest fight of my career, and because of that alone makes me confident, because I know I can't afford to lose. George has lost in this level before. That means he has the mindset. He knows how to lose. He knows how to fail at this level, and that will transfer over in the ring when he's getting hit with those big shots. Yeah, okay, I'm back here again. If I get hit with a shot, I don't know how to get up. I don't know how to get knocked out.
Chris,
I don't know how to get knocked out. So when I get hit with a shot, if I get hit by a shot, I'm going to keep coming. Nothing is going to stop me from finding a way to take this guy out.
And on the flip side, George, the Chilinov fight was fantastic. The Jamie Cox fight was fantastic. Where do you rate Chris between Jamie and Fedor?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tougher test than Cox. Probably not as tough as Chilinov.
Come on, George. Let's not
Chilinov
let's
was
not try and fool these guys.
decent, he was a tough guy. It took a lot to get
These
rid of him.
guys know their boxing. Let's not try and put any strokes in.
We don't know enough about you.
You
We don't know
exactly.
enough about you.
Who's
So,
we? Don't worry about we.
We don't
Worry
talk
about you.
collectively about everyone in the room. We don't know anyone.
You know what I'm about, and they know what I'm about. So let's just keep the talk straight here, okay? Don't talk to me about tuning.
Okay, I'll speak for myself. I personally don't know, because he hasn't boxed at that level yet. He says I've learned to lose at world level. I've lost a couple at world level. He's lost at a lower level, but we won't dwell on that because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. He's don't know what he's relying on, whether he thinks he's going to have a bit of success and I'm going to crumble. You know, I don't do that. I never have done. I got knocked out, but I didn't see a shot coming. And if I could have got up, I would have. I tried to. You know, I didn't learn to get knocked out. There's no quit in me. You know, I'm going to say what Chris is a middleweight. You know, he's a middleweight. Junior is a middleweight. And
that's
I'm
what
a
makes
fully
it
fledged
feel
super
so much
middleweight.
more special, because he's right. I'm not naturally a super middleweight. All these guys, he is much bigger than me. He probably walks around like 14 stones. You know, I walk around 12 stones. I walk around at the super middleweight limit, but I'm still able to come in here and take these guys out. That says a lot.
Even the light heavyweights are going to be in trouble if he decides to move up one day.
Any more questions?
Oh, must be said. Big fight.
Yeah, a question for Shane and to you, Ronnie Davis. Okay. A question for both Shane and Ronnie. We've heard from the EUBANK side that they're kind of holding him back. They're just staring him. What are you going to bring to the table to secure victory for George Groves? And I'd like to same thing for Ronnie Davis. What will you bring to the table that's going to secure the victory?
I'm glad that you acknowledged Ronnie as the coach, because he was the guy that was opening the doors when senior didn't really want to know. You know? And I'm not going to do anything to it. Just they're completely correct. You know, he is his own man. He's the fight. He goes in there. He fights. I don't bring much to the table. We can work on some game plans and he can execute. That's as much as a coach can do. And if they've got confidence in the game plan, if they've got confidence in the instructors in the corner, they've got confidence in how they can prepare themselves, put themselves in peak condition, not peak too early, not peak, and then you know that gives George that little extra confidence. So that's all I bring to the table.
And the same question to you, Mr. Davis. What do you bring to the?
I'll just do my job, which I've always done from day one. I'll step back, I'll let him do his own thing. He knows what to do. I'll bring good sparring in for him. I'll watch him all the time. I'll make sure he's got no hassle outside the ring. He's in good hands. He's his own man, which is great, same as his father. I don't think me and the old man have the same thing, me and Chris. I don't think he's done too bad, the pair of us on that, with a great partnership, all those fights, all those wins. Exactly the same do with the son. It works.
So, Ronnie, if things were to get, I'm not saying they are going to, but if things were to get a bit strenuous in there, would you give him a slap like what you used to do to the senior?
He wouldn't like that. He knows what to do, he won't get to that. He won't get to that. No disrespect, George, he won't get to that. Too young, too fast, too hard. He's phenomenal. He could step up now at 12 stone. I mean, the light heavyweight limit's only 12.6, isn't it? 12.7, 12.6? Sorry?
12-7.
12.7. He can step up now and beat them all. I see him do it. I know he's a freak. I see him. I'm with the man 7 days a week as I was his father. I know his father inside out. That's why he put me in charge of his son. I know the kid inside out. He's exactly the same as the old man. In my opinion, Chris EUBANK should have retired undefeated with his father, but he didn't. He should have done. He could have done. He's the same. Different class, different level to most. I've never seen anyone like this in all my life apart from his father.
Any more questions?
Just that actually means that pedigree is alive and well.
Okay, we'll have one-on-one interviews and a photo opportunity as well. Last word perhaps though from Roberto and from KALLE, please, just to set the scene as we go forward, please, gentlemen.
I don't think it's a space for me to say much after all that. I think it's terrific to sit up here and hear all these boxing minds speaking as a promoter. I think my job was redundant today. Thank you very much. Look forward to Manchester.